So we've got two folks with Darn Tough with us today. We've got Owen and we've got Liz. Liz, how are you doing today?
Ah, so good. I'm thrilled to hear you got down to Texas. That's dope to see the eclipse. I'm from
Yeah,
Texas, so anytime I get excited.
yeah, yeah. No, it was cool. It was really fun. We're out in a ranch out just south of Dallas, and I went for a run up in some of those county roads, which was great to explore a little bit. It was fun to do that.
It's
I'm
nice.
just
Glad you got to see it. My folks were saying it was cloudy, so they were all bummed.
Yeah, right. We just got this little window. I couldn't believe it.
Perfect.
We scored.
Perfect.
Well, we didn't come here to talk about Eclipse, though. We came here to talk about socks, and let's do that. Darn tough, right? And this is such an important part of the overall equation and keeping our feet comfortable, right? Gore is there to keep our feet dry, and as we talked about with Natasha, it's going to prevent moisture from getting in, wind from getting in, but it is also going to be breathable. But I would say the most important part of that equation begins next to foot with making sure that we can wick that water away from our feet, distribute it through yarns, and then turn it into vapor and get it away and out of the shoe. And so I think we've all identified wool as the way to do that. If you're able to wear wool, I love it. And then I think, being very biased here because I own a lot of Darn Tough socks. I find that they're very effective for helping me stay comfortable in there. But there's more to it than that, right? We buy into a brand, we buy into socks, and we want to learn a bit more about Darn Tough. If you don't mind, both of you introducing yourselves to us all so we know exactly what it is y'all do at Darn Tough. Owen, if you don't mind beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my name is Owen Rock Campbell. I'm the product line manager here, have been for just over 5 years. Liz and I, our jobs are to make sure we're getting all of you and your customers the right product at the right time. Just future planning, updates to current stuff. How can we make our socks better? We'll talk about that in a bit. Here's a fun picture of me. I was not in the Experience More Tour presentation. Liz took it with Aoife 6 months ago because this is a picture of me through hiking the Continental Divide Trail with my lovely wife, Anna. That is us in day 2 in Glacier National Park. What a place to start. You can tell from the photo, we were fancy free, fresh, and of course, it wasn't all easy. Fast forward to the end here, and oh, there I am, a little bit hairier, a little bit more sunburned, and I like to think a little wiser as well. But that was on the last day down in at the Crazy Cook Monument at the Mexico-New Mexico border. So thrilled to be back, thrilled to see some familiar faces on here too. And Liz joining me today.
Yeah, hi everybody. Owen's covered most of what we do at as the product line team, but like he said, my name's Liz Flynn. I'm the product line specialist. I help assist making sure that we're making the right thing and making the best possible sock we can. Yeah, a bit about me. I mentioned earlier, I'm originally from Texas. I moved up here for a temporary position in our customer service team, and then got a full-time position on the customer service team, and then transitioned over here to product. Fell in love with our product. I had intended to hike the AT, but DTV turned into a full-time gig. So I'm super excited to share all of the knowledge that I've gained and to answer any questions y'all have today. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, Liz, what's like one aspect of your job as a product line specialist? What's like something you've done? What are you looking at specifically in the Darn Tough lineup?
Sure. So some of the things that I do, I'll just do one, like you say, I help do research, like what's in the market, and then help inform our design team on that. And then just an aside, something really quick and fun that I love to do is when it comes time to name a sock colorway,
Mm.
we help the design team brainstorm those. So words like eclipse or other things that I won't share yet because they're not out quite yet. But I got to sneak in a couple fun ones while Owen was away. So look forward to that.
Yeah. The stock names and color names, I think are a unique part of and fun part of our brand. So, it's all part of the greater product picture and including how it shows up in market.
Yeah, that is so fun. That's so cool that you get to name those and kind of bring those to life, as well as help to develop those colors, which you're definitely nailing it these days with colors. It's super cool to see the fun designs and colors coming out. So Owen, can you give us you've introduced Darn Tough before, we've heard a lot, but there's always something interesting that from your perspective, help us understand how to communicate with customers. We buy into our Tough Socks. What are we getting as far as buying into this brand?
Yeah, so these are kind of our main brand tenants. We were the first company to have an unconditional lifetime warranty for socks, which is huge, right? It's not a gimmick. We'll talk a bit about that more in a bit here, but I think it keeps us honest. It also, it's our bottom line. If people are returning socks and we're giving out free socks for free, there goes our bottom line, our profits. So it's all about keeping us honest, a challenge to us to make a better sock that's going to hold up. We're everything, the entire process and what Liz and I do with our design and development is in Vermont, which is unheard of in apparel, really. So our ability to have an idea on a Monday, have a design made up that afternoon and knit that day, and same day get a sock or a tweak to a sock or a sample same day on a body is a unique competitive advantage for sure. We own the entire process from knitting to shipping. And then, of course, this all translates to uncompromised comfort, durability, and fit. If you're not satisfied with any of those, we'll replace them free of charge. My favorite of these three, I'm a Vermont boy, still made in Vermont, USA. I think that really, the other two wouldn't be possible without us owning the process and the pride that goes in. Of course, those are the brand tenants. I think what kind of like makes it come together, if we go to the next slide here, like I think the drivers, why do we come to work every day? We like to say like the 3 Ps: people, product, and place. So the people like Liz, who I work with every day on the call here. I know we got Andrew and Joanna and Kevin who are going to help answer some of your questions. And just like being here in Vermont to grow our community and have jobs here and manufacturing here, which also, is one of the other P's, place. Product, this is our favorite. We developed the product here, but this is like uncompromised product. And then the place, again, doing it all here. I think what unites these 3 P's is actually a 4th one we're not listing, which is pride. I think it's clear that I'm really proud about this brand and what we do here. And to give a quick example of how these 3 of those people, product, and place came together, in the news from last July, I'm sure many of you saw historical flooding. They called it at the time a flood of of a century. Since 1927 was the last one. However, then we had a second flood of the century within 2023 as well. And so we had historical floods. This is Waterbury, Vermont, one of our locations here. I'm sitting in Waterbury right now, and you can see my office. I'm waving out the window in the photo. And this is what our town, this is what our home looked like. And, we had employees who couldn't get to work. We had folks who were flooded out of their homes, and the impacts were huge, with folks losing housing, lost businesses. And so what did we do? We brought people and product and place together to work with the state of Vermont to create a Vermont strong sock. We did this within weeks because we are the mill, is something we like to say. We own the process. And this is that example, right, of us working with the state who respected us and vice versa to get this done, to get direct money into the flood relief money to the people who needed it quickly, without the bureaucratic red tape. It was amazing. You could pair it with a Vermont strong license plate, which is so cool, right? What other brand can have a custom like relief community impact like that so quickly? I think it really speaks to again, like how unique we are and how we build the community here and the community gives back to us.
Yeah, right. You are integral into the community. You're not just a sidebar, like you are part of the state, the whole state, right? And be able to contribute and participate at this level is remarkable.
Yeah, the brand is Darn Tough Vermont is the full brand name. And that's right there in the name, which is cool.
So these are amazing socks, but are they your best socks, Owen?
Oh yeah, that was a softball there, Marshall. So I have shown a version, or we have shown a version of a picture of this wall in the past. And I love this photo because it really shows why we come to work, right? People, product, place, come to work to produce a better sock, to be better. And so on the wall, when you come in at our mill and hang up your coat for the day, or grab a snack from the vending machine in the back, right up there on the wall, we have yet to produce our best sock. That's not just the product team, that's our continuous improvement throughout the whole company, empowers folks to how can we improve our product for our customers, for ourselves, etc. As you can tell, Liz and I are psyched about it. So it's we took a new photo for you guys because it's still really important to us for sure. But how do we do that? Right? How do we make a better sock? We're not going to rest on our laurels. That comes back to my comment earlier about the warranty keeping us honest, right? It's a promise to the customer. It's a challenge to us. And so as the brand with the first, and I like to think, and I really say this and mean it, the only true unconditional lifetime warranty, we have the ability to get your socks back. And in fact, we want them back so we can improve. And so this is how are these socks wearing out? What can we make improvements on to make the experience for the customer better, the value to the customer better as well. So the socks on the left were ones that were like 12 years old that someone sent back to us, which we love. And then on the right is a sock that's still in the line that is, a hiker. That one is a hiker boot full cushion, a really great seller for us, and really I like to think an indestructible sock. So when you get back a bestseller with that kind of wear, we want to know why. We want to see how can we make improvements. What happened? Of course, you sell a pair of socks. We might not get this. We hope not to get warranty returns back for years. But that by that point, we could have made changes. So what do we do on the front end? Which brings us to the next slide, which is testing, testing, testing. We have the ability, like I mentioned earlier, to get the socks on the machines, a prototype or a tweak to test in the same day. So this is lab testing and this is real world testing. An example of our lab testing, this is a Martindale machine. We have each one of those pistons, we have a piece of sock, a special knit up that each one of those pistons has essentially like a rasp or like sandpaper, metal sandpaper on it that is going to test how many rubs or how many abrasive hits of this machine until the sock fails. And we base that, so that's our way of saying, okay, we just have a new style, new yarn combination, new knit structure, all things that make a durable and good fitting sock. How does it compare to our baseline? Fun fact about this, we used to send our socks away to get this abrasion testing. It was taking them too long to get us the results back. So we bought our own, keeping it in-house. And we send some out still to make sure that the industry standard and how we're testing are still aligned as well. Then there's
I will add, at Gore, we own many of these Martindale machines.
Yeah.
And, we're using them on every time we develop a new laminate package, we need to know, when does it fail, right? The point isn't that it won't ever fail, because the Martindale will eventually destroy something. But when, right? Is it 40,000? Is it 60,000? Is it 80,000 cycles of the Martindale? And it's just really important for us to understand, where does it fit in? And this is, again, one of a slew of tests that we run, and I'm sure same with you. It's one of a slew of tests that you run as well to understand, the stretch, the hand, the durability of your products as you get them.
Yeah, just that was one example. And a lab controlled setting isn't always realistic, right? To how people are treating and abusing lovingly, I think, really putting our products through the ringer. So that's a picture on the right of my gross feet. Sorry, everyone. And so that is a picture from the Continental Divide through hike this past fall. We knit up a special version of our Continental Divide socks, which we sell to support the trail. Check them out. And this special version you can tell gets filthy. And I showed a picture of my foot. Continental Divide is very dusty, very, very sandy. That through the shoe, through the gaiter, through the sock, my feet were that dirty. And at a microscopic level, though, that dirt is going to, with the abrasion of my feet in my shoe, going to wear a sock out a lot in a much more real world scenario than that machine. So we are able to see very quickly how hikers are actually wearing them out. And pairing those two together, we can feel confident in the changes we're making or the new products we're launching, and that they're going to hold up, which is really awesome.
Well, here I got to give it to you a little bit. If you've been wearing those Nike Pegasus 4s with GORE-TEX in them, your feet would not have gotten that dirty, but then you wouldn't have been able to test the durability of the socks. So, you know, just throwing it out there, GORE-TEX not only good for waterproofness, but for dust and dirt. That's a pretty fantastic application.
In an ideal world, I would have had the shoes that would have done that, and to your point, needed to really test how
took one for the team with your dirty feet. Thank you, Owen,
exactly.
Yeah. I like to think of dirt as micro knives. It's going in there. It's wreaking havoc on everything. Another reason to clean your shoes, and another reason maybe to clean your socks, which Liz is going to hit on later.
Yes.
To remove those micro knives from the equation.
Micro knives is a great way of saying it.
Yeah.
To quickly, we have the testing, we have the long-term warranty data coming back in, and then there's everything in between. So there's a lot on this slide, but the big takeaway is every single customer interaction we have, we document. So we can tell what is the customer thinking about our product. Step one, listen to your customer. Every interaction then goes to step two. We're recording and analyzing as much as possible. So what you're seeing here is every interaction. There's a seasonality to it. We get more interactions in December, as folks selling know on the call. And then we're really interested in the blue on the bottom of each of this percentage of returns, or of feedback, good and bad. We're curious about product. So then to the next slide here, how can we affect change? So we can break this data down more and more and more. And even before we might get warranty returns back, we can notice room for improvement based on customer change. And then we can track the change, which is so important. We're not just making change for the sake of change, we're making it and making sure it was the right one. So a great example, before we continue on to Liz, is that bottom blue is a feedback from our customers that our product was, quote, too tight. And so we said, okay, let's talk to these customers. How is it too tight? Are they getting the right size sock for them? And then from there, assuming they are, what styles can we affect this change? So we did our lifestyle lightweight with cushion socks, which was the main this feedback. We changed it, and we changed that about a year ago. And we've been tracking it ever since. So far, things are looking great. And we've been focusing on 100 examples just like this one of tweaks we can make because we can faster than anyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really neat that you're kind of tracking that, and then you can make either, whether it be inline adjustments or as PLMs, you're always looking for input and data for the next version and iteration, right? So, but you can do both, and that's what's remarkable is you can walk over to the factory and like stop the presses, change things right now, which I imagine you don't want to do too much of inline. But it is possible to make those little adjustments, which is just, again, it just shows that the importance of having it all right there in house. And I think how you hold that dear to your ethics and the values of Darn Tough. Well, Owen, thanks for sharing that data and sort of sharing sort of how you approach some of this, how you do your job, right? I think it's always fascinating to see where you're collecting this data, and this is really interesting, right? So not only is it important to get socks back, it's important for customers to call and talk to y'all, and you listen and you make changes, which is really cool. Thank you for sharing that. And Liz, I want to kick it over to you because you had mentioned earlier when we were chatting that you wanted to talk about wash and care. We were talking about wash and care a lot on the Experience More Tour community this season, having to do with new changes in DWR chemistry, as well as extending the useful life of your products. And I would say socks are no different. So there is a way to do this. And can you run us through the Darn Tough approved method of washing and caring for our socks?
Yeah, absolutely, Marshall. That's our whole point for this section today is that our biggest and most engaging blog post on our website is about how to wash our socks. So we know customers want to know, and we hope we can give that Darn Tough approved wash and care instructions for y'all today. Ben, if you hit me with that next slide, we'll go into it. It's just a 4-step process, so super approachable. Before washing your socks, turn them inside out. Now, why that is it really helps clean out all those micro knives, right? All of that dust and debris. It's especially important for socks with cushioning. That cushioning is made by Terry loops. It's a type of stitch, and I'll show you more about this later today during my little talk here, but those can really trap dust, debris, and stuff like that. So turning them inside out helps wash that out. Step 2, wash them in cold. Not only is it better for the environment, it's better for your socks fibers. We'll talk more about it on the next slide, but high heat can damage those fibers, and that's the opposite of what you want to help protect their longevity. So step 3, make sure you're using the right soap. Choose a detergent with a more neutral pH. Acids can weaken sock fibers, so stay away from things like bleach or hardcore fabric softener. And pro tip, when you're in the backcountry, use something that's biodegradable, like Dr. Bronner's. Owen, what did you use out on the trail? Did you use anything in particular?
Bronner's, yeah.
Bronner's, there you go. So yeah, use something good for you, good for the environment, best you can. And then last, but probably for me the most important, is you can air dry or tumble dry on low our socks. So line drying our socks is the best way if you can. It's great for the environment, it's great for your socks, and it's an awesome opportunity, like on that first slide, to show off your impressive collection, right? Just to revel in it. But if you're like me and you're busy and life happens, right, and you're washing it all together with the rest of your laundry, try to tumble dry on low. It might take a little longer, but it's better for your sock in the long run. You don't want to get them too hot. It, again, hurts the fibers. So if we check on the next slide, we've been talking a lot about heat. So let's go over a couple other don'ts, right? So high heat, harsh chemicals, 2 things that can damage those magic merino wool fibers that give you all of the amazing merino performance abilities. So to protect those, here are a couple things to avoid. Don't wash them as often. A couple uses in between washes, totally fine. We have had some high number record keepers here at the company to see how long they could go in between washes for their to protect their privacy. We won't list numbers there, and don't dry clean, not necessary. Third, bleach. We've talked about this earlier on the previous slide. Bleach on our socks will return them to a natural yellow wool color, which is the opposite of what you're looking for. So avoid bleach on there, as well as damaging the sock. You're not going to get that crisp look you're looking for. Don't use fabric softener, like I said before, and don't iron them. Again, that heat's not going to help your sock stay tough for very long. If you are looking for a more crisp, flat thing, laying them flat, I have heard helps with that. I find when I line dry mine, they get pretty flat just by hanging.
Thanks for running us through that. Now, we wouldn't be an Experience More Tour event without getting into some tech, into some products. You just said, Liz, that you wanted to talk about running socks this season, which I live in almost every single day of my life. So tell me about why I love my socks so much. Okay.
Happy to. So long story short, we have the most technical run socks on the market for reasons I'm about to show you today. And sneak peek, they're only getting better. But yeah, we really strive to be the top 1 or 2 brand in the categories we play in, and we're trying to apply all of our knowledge and all of our sock wizardry into the run category to make sure that runners of all types are getting all that good wool magic. So yeah, let's go over 4 of the reasons why we think that's the case. Merino's a great sock material, and 4 reasons we think it's great for running is that the odor resistance is killer. The moisture wicking helps with that. We discussed it earlier, that GORE-TEX environment, making sure your foot can breathe, right? They're thermoregulating and they're super durable. So we've shown you today how we learn from customer data, field testing, and lab development. Let's look how we apply those on the sock themselves. Let me grab the right foot here. Hang on. Hi. So what we're going to go over today is I'm just going to show you on the sock how some of those you know, those four things we just talked about, like the durability, the thermoregulating, some of that actually happens on the sock itself. So we'll start up here, right? Like this right here is what's called a 1x1 knit. This helps keep it durable, but also like, so if you're running through the bushes or whatever, you're just gonna, it just helps stay a little bit tougher right there. That knit does that. This ultralight merino wool fiber that we're using here, it helps wick that moisture, regulate your temperature. It's just doing its awesome performance fibers stuff. So next we're going to talk about durability, right? What you're seeing right here along the back of the heel, and hopefully the camera's picking that up okay. I've got another sock we're going to look at this on, so if you can't see it so good here, hang tight, I'll show it to you in another. This is some bomb-proof durability that we're implementing here. It's extended up into the back of your Achilles to help with hot spots, and then it extends down under into your performance zone. And what that is it's our secret sauce, right? That's what's doing all of that added durability. It's new reinforcements that we're adding there into those high wear zones that helps keep that lasting performance until you have to send it back in like 5 years for your warranty, right? Last two things I want to talk about here are things you can point out to customers to help start that thermoregulation conversation around wool. First one here is the mesh window across the top of the foot. What this does is, we've discussed it, merino wool is already thermoregulating and moisture wicking, right? This does that and just kicks it up a notch and helps you visually see that that's what's happening right there. It helps keep your feet dry and helps you breathe. And then last but not least, it's a little tough to see on this sock, but just a cool little feature we have right there. You can kind of see it. It's called a flex window. And what that does, it's a re-engineered flex window to improve fit and just flexibility right there in that, like, yeah, where your ankle bends.
Yeah, right.
Not sure the technical term there, but yeah. So like I had said, I'm going to show you some of that on another sock here. All of these are, again, like I said, we make the most technical sock in the market. Those are some of the reasons why. But one of the things we also wanted to talk about while we're here is color. We know it's important for runners that you can express yourself with your kit, and we think that should include your socks too. So we're not just designing the smartest sock on the planet, but also going for some of the prettiest, right? So we can see on this sock, again, the things I was discussing: flex window, mesh panels, that extended durability up the back of the heel. This sock is one with cushion, those terry loops I was talking about earlier. I can actually take it off and show you what that is. That seamless toe that we have. And yeah, one of the cool things is we got feedback from runners and extended a lot of this in different areas on the sock itself, which is super, super cool. And they're only getting better. That's the best thing about them, I think. It's like we said earlier, we haven't made the best one yet, so we're gonna keep at it.
They are, and it's neat to see the sort of thought and the evolution that's gone into these socks over time. Also adding in the new colorway. So what was that new colorway? What was that one called?
Yeah, so this one is called Canyon, and the actual sock itself is called Horizon. I'm extremely proud of this sock. Kind of slipped it in here because we wound up going with a name that I suggested for it. So
yes,
kind of hype about it, just a little. Yeah.
There you go, the Liz special. And amazing that the Canyon sock colorway there in that sock. So very cool pattern too. It's neat to see these coming out, and
it's amazing. It works on so many different skin tones. It just looks, yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm not normally like this kind of a colorway person, but we just executed it super good. So
nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Liz, thank you. Really neat to get that tour from you and see where your passions lay in the sock world, which it seems like there's many. So it's always really cool to hear your enthusiasm, and thank you for that. And Owen, thanks for chatting with us today on durability, on the brand, on your all's perspective on Darn Tough socks and the socks in general.
Oh, happy to hear
fascinating. Thank you, Owen, and thank you, Liz, for joining us. I know we'll have you back this evening for you. It'll be late. It'll be 8 o'clock, I think, tonight. 5 o'clock my time, and always fun to catch up. You all maybe will be at home, so we get to see your home environments, and which is always great too. But thank you for spending time with the community, and thank you to the community for spending time with us.